you can advertise your business on Night Dreams Talk Radio, and you will be heard worldwide. Why not contact us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com.
If you would like to hear Night Dreams Talk Radio on your local radio station, let them know. Tell them to check out www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. And thank you.
Night Dreams Talk Radio Network brings you the World Paranormal News with James Creechbaum. Now, the latest news.
This is Night Dreams Talk Radio Network News. I'm James Creechbaum, and for all the truckers and all drivers out there, be careful of some roadways, especially along the Atlantic seaboard. Going to be steady rain with some heavy rain in some areas up through the whole East Coast today and into tomorrow. Also going on right now and through tonight, northwest of Washington, western state of Washington is all going to be some rain and some heavy rain. You get on to the eastern part of Washington state into Idaho, and you're talking a mix into snow. So those are some rough spots you might want to watch out for out there. Here's a report of here's a report that came in. My roommate got a dog, and I was helping by taking him out to go to the bathroom in the Albany Park neighborhood in Chicago. I was also going to go for a long walk because the dog was restless. As I started to walk down the sidewalk, I looked down the sidewalk ahead of me. Then I saw a very tall, skinny, all-black figure, about 7 to 8 foot tall. It was shuffling towards me very slowly. I stopped and stared, trying to convince myself it was a person, but I could not make out any arms, or it's as if it had long arms being tucked behind itself. I couldn't make out a round head shape either. I instantly got scared, and I didn't have a good feeling at all. I got creeped out and fled back to my apartment, looking behind me to make sure it did not follow me. And that was kind of a shadow person that somebody seen near their house. Mysterious haunted mannequin head scares women in Singapore. Now, the seller of these decided to contact this witness, saying that she wanted to give me, this is in the witness's words, wanted to give me a few beauty items that she has for free. So I thought, why not? I then informed her if I could collect it a few days later, and seller seems to be very abrupt, to hand it over to me right away. She wanted to, right away wanted to give it to me. Now, puzzled with this urgency, I said she can hand it over to my mom or my mother-in-law the next day. Well, the next night, for 2 nights straight, I had terrible bad nightmares. I dreamt that something was following me. At this point, I haven't touched the items at all, and they're not even in the house yet. At 1 a.m., my mother-in-law texted and said, "Can you return all these items back to the seller?" What she found inside of the boxes were a mannequin head and a wig, and it was made out of human hair. Now, I threw the box away, the whole thing, with the head, hair, and all. Hopefully, all will be okay. Okay, this is a Bigfoot report that come in. As we were taking a break, these are 2 hunters. As we were taking a break, they heard a screaming sound coming from the ridge ahead of them. The one witness wasn't sure what the sound was, but his partner thought, well, that may have been a deer in distress or in its death throes. As they scanned the ridge and the valley in front of them, they noticed movement along the edge of the ridge. As they watched, one witness thought, well, that it may have been another hunter. But there was something unusual about the size and the way it was moving. He looked through his binoculars and was shocked by the size of this figure. He took out his cell phone camera, and it had a cracked lens, he said, and snapped off a photo before the creature moved out of sight. Now, both witnesses believe that this was a Bigfoot with a deer carcass slung over its shoulders. They also noticed its movement was indicated that it may have been dragging something behind it as well. Space Force logo looks like it's from the Star Trek logo. It looks a lot like it. President Donald Trump has revealed the official logo for the U.S. Space Force, and it looks somewhat familiar. The new logo, which looks suspiciously like the Starfleet logo from Star Trek, will be used to represent the latest branch of the U.S. military, which will deal exclusively with the country's space endeavors. The next news break, top of the hour.
You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark with our host, Gary Anderson.
And that is me, and I can tell you the week has just gone by so fast. It seems like when I sat in this chair, the captain's chair, on Monday, well, now it's Friday, and it's like I went into a time warp or something. Now, James, you talk about the the Space Force, their new logo. It looks like Star Trek. It sure does. And speaking about Star Trek, Star Trek Picard, do you realize that CBS is now trying to unload it to NBC?
No, I did not know that. What happened? They have a fight with each other, or with Picard and CBS?
No, not that. It's just it's cost so much to produce it that they had a meeting with NBC. It was supposed to be like a 2-hour meeting about maybe NBC, taking over the Star Trek franchise, and especially the Picard. And after about a half an hour, I guess NBC said, "This is how much we're willing to pay you." CBS said, "No, that's not enough," so they walked out.
No, I didn't know. Oh, that's very interesting. That's almost reminiscent of what happened long years ago, wasn't it? Because they didn't cancel the original one because of ratings, from what we hear from Mark, anyway.
No, it was not. But what they're also saying is that when they do a new series, right, they shoot several episodes, and they bring in a tester audience, and they sit and watch it and rate it. Now, Picard, according to the tester audience, didn't even fare average.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, they wanted to dump that fast as they could, obviously.
I don't know. I don't know if they want to dump it or what, but, you're talking about a lot of money. And, it's funny, when you look at these major networks like NBC, CBS, and all that stuff, basically going where you have to pay to view, to watch a show, that tells me that the whole industry has drastically changed. I mean, a lot of people were expecting to see Picard just on the TV channel, the cable channel, not where you have to subscribe and pay for it. And I think that is going to affect the audience level watching it too, because, hey, not everybody has the money to, pay access fees to watch certain shows.
Yeah, because that's something you got to, pretty much they're putting in a category of pretty much like a movie type channel, a special channel like HBO or something. You'd have to pay extra for. It's the same principle. You've got to pay to watch these things, whether it be whatever it is. But it doesn't feel like that's going to take off like that. And there's probably a lot of other shows that's going to fall in that same category, I bet you.
I don't know. Again, the CBS has done a lot of promoting of it, and they signed a second season for it. So, I mean, whatever. I just kind of found that was surprise in the news yesterday that CBS and NBC had a sit-down meeting, and where CBS was trying to unload Picard.
Yeah, because I didn't notice any today, but yesterday and the day before, I remember seeing commercials about that. And when I first seen the commercial, I actually thought it was a movie. that was going to be at the drive-in, or not drive-in. Yeah, yeah. But,
well, I don't know many places. There is one in our state you can go to a drive-in, but no, okay, you made a mistake, and I accept it.
We do got a drive-in actually about 10 miles from my house, but it's definitely closed this time of year.
Yeah, I don't know. That drive-ins, I tell you, when I was young, it was so much nicer to go to drive-in, and sit in your own car and drink your, soda, eat your pizza, popcorn.
In the early 80s, we had another drive-in that was about 5 miles from here, and I remember on Thursday nights it was $3 carload night. You could fill your carload, many people as you can get in it. So all as teenagers, we'd pile in the car, 10 or 15 of us for $3 for the whole carload, Gary.
There was a place in Kent, Washington when I was young, and I went out of business probably by the time I was like 21 or 22 or 23. It was called the El Rancho Drive-In, and it was $2.50 a carload. And you do the same thing. You crank, everybody, because money was tight, and everybody would, chip in. But the bad thing is, if you had a girl were fancy with, I mean, I tell you what, if you get like 10 people on a car, you ain't gonna do any spooning.
Well, I remember. I don't even know if I was old enough to drive. I don't know if I was driving yet or not. Or I was right around 15 or 16, but. Yeah, we'd go in the carload, and I guess I'd go with a few other old people. But I remember the movie was Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah, when that came out, that was the movie that was playing. I remember seeing the first 10 minutes of it anyway. But you'd have to go out, and there were so many other teenage women there. You didn't have to worry about your own car, just buying their car or something. But there was a lot of cars all over there. But that place is a total parking lot now. It's weird.
I know where that place where I used to go to, well, they converted it, and Boeing Aircraft bought the property and built, warehouses and stuff on it. Well, you know what? A large snake was rescued from a storm drain off the side of the road. Snake. A group of men rescued this large python. It was apparently slithered into the storm drain and couldn't get out and was stuck. So these would-be rescuers managed to rescue the snake. To their surprise, the snake was over 20-some feet long.
Wow. That is... Yeah, I'm amazed at some of these sizes of some of these snakes and the things that they can eat, because they can just dislodge their jaw and pretty much swallow anything. I mean, if they can get their mouth around it. And... I must have not, because I knew if that's in Florida, they demand that you pretty much put them snakes down because they're so invasive. But that is amazing how big they can get. That snake probably weighed close to a couple 100 pounds, I bet you.
Well, could you imagine one of those wrapping around you?
Oh, it'd crush you to death. And the thing about it, every time you take a little breath, it crushes you a little more. It's like you're done. You're done once they get wrapped around you. If there's nobody there to help you, you're in trouble.
Oh, yeah, because they just squish you to eventually you can't breathe anymore. And then when you can't breathe anymore, then they take their mouth and then go over your head and slowly, devour your whole body. In India here, back 6 months ago, they managed to save the woman. But a woman was sleeping next to